For the first time in 3 days, the Bourne Braves have a new opponent. Hello, everyone, and welcome into a shortened edition of Pregame Tomahawk Talk here from a pretty wet Durham Park. I'm Adam Gotkin alongside Sean Brennan. The start time of this game moved back to 6:30. As you can see behind us, the field still a little bit wet. They put a lot of quick dry down on it. It looked pretty bad about an hour ago, but definitely getting into shape. But field needed about 30 extra minutes to dry, so because of that, a 6:30 start time today. Sean, let's start talking about last night's game, the Bravos against the Gatemen of Wareham, and a very interesting game, probably the most entertaining one that we've seen all season, an 8-8 tie.
Yeah, and when you look at it, it unfolded similarly to the game at Wareham on July 3rd. Bourne went down 6-0 early. They battled back, didn't quite get the same result as they lost 8-6, but it was the same thing yesterday. They go down 6-0 early, and they chip away whenever Wareham would put runs on the board. Bourne would respond almost instantly, and then that big 8th inning, Bourne scores 4 runs to tie it up. The game goes to extras, and then something that we really haven't seen before, with 1 out and a runner on third, Wareham intentionally walks 2 batters to load the bases. Only 1 out, so all that was really needed was a bit of contact to win the game, driving a run. That didn't happen, and 8-8 tie, not thrilled with that result, but when you consider how they had to come from behind and the grit they showed, you have to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that type of grit so far this season. We haven't seen this team battle back into games and necessarily tie it. As you said, on July 3rd, they got back into it, but could never end up tying the game. They did last night, so a little bit work on from there. Now, moving to tonight's game, and Harwich's starter, they got a guy at Wake Forest who's really dominated so far this summer, but in the past has shown some issues with control.
Yeah, you said it, Hayden LaFew out of Wake Forest. His stats don't necessarily reflect that issue with control, but it is there. And he's been good on the Cape so far. His last outing came on June 28th. He threw 5 in1/3, no run ball innings, and yeah, he's been good, but it's a slippery slope, right? You don't see the control issues in the stats, but if it starts to show up, it could be a slippery slope, and Bourne really should take advantage.
And one thing that is to note, too, this Harwich offense is really, really good. One of the top in the league. For Bourne, it's going to be Ben Bybee on the mound today, and it's not going to be the easiest of days for him.
No, we just saw Wareham, arguably the best offense in the league, twice, and Harwich isn't far behind. They have the second most hits. They don't strike out a lot. They hit a lot of home runs, and a guy that I'm looking for is Michael Anderson, the big first baseman. Who doesn't love a first baseman that hits tanks? And he does that. 5 home runs on the season. He's been a force, just committed to Arkansas, was at Rhode Island, so they like a big first baseman, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Bybee, like you said, is going to have his hands full.
So we got Arkansas against Arkansas. Of course, that's where Ben Bybee's from, and Michael Anderson as well on this Mariners team. Well, again, first pitch coming up at 6:30 because of the rain. We'll see you soon at Durham Park.